Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Sales with Jay and Ron.
Yep, where we are turning script readers into pro salespeople.
So what we wanted to talk about today was some top obstacles for salespeople.
The first one right out the gate is building trust and credibility. And I know for beginner people, salespeople, they tend to hit you with the, "Hey Jagger, my name is Ronnie. I work with Ronnie Home Buyers, and we've been buying houses since 1995, and we've purchased over 3,000 houses, and we've renovated over." And
Hang up. You see how Ronnie didn't ask me anything and he made it all about himself?
What you want to do, guys, is you want to sprinkle a little bit about what you do, and right away, right, turn the conversation into the seller. And then at the end of the conversation, after you got everything you needed, you have a next step in mind. Now you can leave off by saying something like, "Hey Jagger, so we've got the next step in place, right? So you're going to send me photos so I can review them with my project manager. And if we're in your ballpark, then we can talk about the next steps." How's that sound?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay, now, meanwhile, here's what I'll do. As soon as we hang up this call, I'm going to send you my company website.
So you see how he tried to build some credibility and trust just by offering to give information about who we are, our website. And it's not easy, guys. So it goes right into the second one, which is an obstacle I've dealt with before, revealing the seller's problem. When you're talking to these sellers, we're strangers, right? Usually a lot of people think that we just want to buy their house. Little do they know we need, to build trust and credibility to get that information of revealing their problem. And the way you really do that is just by asking questions. And one question I always ask to reveal their problem is, "Hey, seems like you have a really nice house. I know it's in a great area. I'm just trying to figure it out. Why would you even consider selling this place?"
I mean, we can role play that, but if you say that, they're going to jump right into like why they are thinking about selling or why they want to sell and all that good stuff. And depending on how your process is, whether you have maybe some cold callers or maybe a lead manager that's calling beforehand, that'll kind of tell you how to jump in and look for their problem. Or maybe they already gave it up, right? But maybe it's not unclear.
Revealing the problem, right? You want to make sure that you build the trust and credibility before asking these questions so that they have a sense of understanding about who we are and what we do, so that they will feel more comfortable answering some personal questions on why they want to sell. Just remember to ask these questions always and try to build as much credibility with the seller before you ask anything personal.
Yeah, and for the third one, it's this is kind of a two-parter here. It's dealing with seller's remorse and then how to address seller's remorse before it actually happens. Yeah, so guys, you want to try to avoid seller's remorse. So there's two key things you want to do. Number one, you want to make sure that the seller makes that decision to actually sell the property. It's not your job to convince them, right? We're not here to convince people to sell their house. We're here to convince the people that want to sell their house to sell it to us. Easiest way to get seller's remorse is that you convince someone to sell their house when they didn't need to. And then as soon as you leave, they're going to speak to somebody or they're going to kind of think about it and be like, "I never even wanted to sell my house. Like, I don't want to do this." And boom, right? You thought you had a deal and you didn't. Make sure when they make this decision, they are empowering them to make the decision, right? They're the ones. Are you sure you want to do this, right? "Hey, if we sign this, these are the next steps. Now, before you sign, have you really thought about this? What's your plan, right? What are you going to do after you sell?" Making sure they got all those things, all their ducks in a row so you don't get seller's remorse.
A lot of salespeople are pressure salesmen, where they just go for the close and they really pressure people to sign and move forward and, really show the benefits of what they can do and how they can help and really like putting the seller in an uncomfortable position. So a lot of sellers feel like they have to lie or hold their cards tight because of these reasons. So that's why Ronnie and I know a lot of the other guys do the same thing. We try to be very upfront and set the right expectation. As Ronnie kind of told you a few ways to really like how to handle it before it happens, sometimes you're going to get where you messed up. You didn't get the decision makers, which you could check our past video on how to find those things out, or you just maybe missed something, or the seller just isn't 100% ready. So even if the seller says, "Yeah, Ronnie, I'm ready," and they don't really realize what that means, and then, "Hey, call me back later," and they're like, "I thought you guys were ready to move forward. Like what am I missing?" "Oh, I'm not ready right now," and they hang up. That's some seller's remorse, right? Yeah. So that means the seller wasn't ready for a certain reason. So then how you're going to deal with something like that is I would just restart everything. We're the ones who can handle the blame and then try to guide the seller to understanding why they had that remorse. So what I would do is, "Hey, Mr. Seller, I understand, maybe this moved too quick. I must have messed up somewhere along on my part. I thought you were ready to go and ready to sign. Obviously, I didn't make that clear enough. I'm so sorry. How about we just take a step back? Let me know what you're even thinking. What's holding you back? What's stopping you? Why maybe aren't you 100% ready to sell right now?" And just so you know, that's completely okay because I don't buy every house from every person I talk to.
And notice how he did a lot of labeling and also use mirroring if, once the person told them the reason on why to do it. So definitely watch this video next to help you figure out a better way to use labeling and mirroring.